وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا ما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم اجعلنا من يستمع القول فيتبع أحسنه. We are still in the book of the fiqh, or the summary of the Islamic fiqh, inshallah, by Imam Tuwajiri rahimahullah ta'ala. And we have just want to cover one more time just to summarize the masih, wiping over the khuf, and from Islamic perspective, because this topic always there's so many questions about it, Allah, and which is very, very important topic to know the rules of our deen and the rukhas in our deen. So definitely when you talk about the wiping over the socks or the khuf, the shoes, this shows the deen, our deen was made for ease. And definitely, as there's proof from the Quran and the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there's dalil, so many dalil about the masih, wiping over the socks. However, there's some opinions. Some opinion was said, Allah said in the Quran, everything should be washed. Ayah in the Quran, Surah Al-Ma'idah. And Surah Al-Ma'idah was one of the last large surah came together. So it was toward the end of the life of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And said, then we should not wipe, because of the ayah was revealed to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, said, وَاغْسِلُوا وجوهكم وأيديكم إلى المرافق, and so on till the end of the ayat. Then said, فَامْسَحُوا وجوهكم وأيديكم وَرَاقِكُمْ وَامْسَحُوا برؤوسكم وأرجلكم إلى الكعبين. However, all this ayat here shows, the ayah definitely shows a clear we should wash. We should wash. Now, there's hadith by Jarir ibn Abdullah al-Bajali, said, I saw Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam wiping over his khuffayn, his shoes. So then he was asked, did you, and Jarir ibn Abdullah, he said, this hadith, did you see him before the Ma'idah or after the Ma'idah? He said, as you know, I became Muslim way after the Ma'idah, or I became Muslim after the Ma'idah. So this is the hadith, the authentic hadith here by Jarir ibn Abdullah al-Bajali, that he saw Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam wiping after the revelation of the Ma'idah. This is clear dalil. That means there's the rukhsa, we are allowed to wipe over the socks or the feet, or the shoes and the khuf. So the only one who differ, remember this, the only one who differ from wiping over the khuf or the shoes or the socks, the only one, the Shia and the Khawarij. So they don't wipe. The Khawarij and the Shia, they don't wipe. Rafida. Ahl Sunnah, all Ahl Sunnah, they agreed upon they can wipe over the shoes. Now they differ between wiping over the socks or not. But wiping in general, Ahl Sunnah, all of them, they said they can wipe. No matter what their madhab, what school of thought, they all agree. This became like aqeedah, remember this word, for Ahl Sunnah, and we wipe over the shoes or the khuffayn. Namsah. Right away, this is our way. Because the Prophet ﷺ said was making masih, so we do it. Like I said, so show it to distinguish us from others, Khawarij and the Rawafid. However, the socks, as we have mentioned, there's a hadith to prove that the Prophet ﷺ wiped over the socks. There's no hadith. But remember this, there's no hadith mentioned that the Prophet ﷺ he wiped over his socks. But Rasul was narrated. There's few different narration. One of them, 17 companions. 17 of the companions of Rasul have wiped over their socks. Shoes, khuf, there's no different opinion. That's we can wipe. But there's 17 of them, and there's narration they said 9 and 12 and so on. But definitely one number, 17 of the companion, they wiped over their socks. And this is more than enough for us. Because the Sahaba radiallahu anhu, they will never do that unless they saw the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Clear? So now we wipe over the socks because the Sahaba, the companions, they are the one who delivered the message to us, the deen to us, all of it, the Quran, the Sunnah, everything. So this one we're going to doubt him. So they have the one who delivered the Quran. We're going to doubt the Sahaba, they wiped what they wiped. So we wipe as Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now, the scars have differ, should be, how thick should be, thick, thin, and so on. Another Sahaba, the people of knowledge should be thick enough, the water should not penetrate, and so on, should not have no holes in it. But all this stuff has no dalil on it whatsoever. The thickness of the socks has no dalil on it whatsoever. Socks is socks. Has holes, no problem. As the Sufyan Thawri, rahimahullah, when he was asked, what do you think about wiping over the socks with holes in it, the patches or holes in it? He said, what about the socks Sahaba? Was nothing but full of patches and holes. Done. Again, the thickness, you have to have proof, dalil. How thick? If someone tells it has to be thick enough, give me your dalil. We know the Sahaba wiped over the socks. Done. Authentically narrated, they were wiped over the socks. Okay, when they say thick, leather, no holes in it, give me the proof. I need ayah or hadith. There's no such a thing. So some scholars said, avoid the woman's socks, the one that clearly you see the skin out of it. Try to avoid it. But again, they said, we cannot say we're not allowed. Because there's nothing to prove. But they said if you avoid it, it will be fine. So they said better not to wipe on it because really there's no socks in there when it comes to that. So now, this is the wiping over the socks or the shoes, and we said 24 hours a day and night for the one who's not traveling, and for the traveler 3 days, 72 hours. And the count of the days start from the first time you wipe. And then we said if you take your socks off or shoes off, does not invalidate your wudu. But if you put this after you take it off, after you wiped on it, remember, if you wiped on the socks and took them off, does not invalidate your wudu. Now, if you put them back on and you lost your wudu, you cannot re-wipe. And you have to have them on in state, the other thing I forgot to mention, you have to have the socks on in state of wudu. That's your question? What's your question?
But if you take them off and put a new pair of socks on,
before you wipe or after?
after you wipe.
After that doesn't matter. Same thing. If you put in a new pair of socks or not, same thing. You're not allowed to re-wipe on. Why they said taking the socks off will not invalidate the wudu? Because taking the socks off, not one of the things invalidate the wudu. You're not passing gas, you're not sleeping, you're not this, you're not that. So all the things invalidate the wudu is not part of it. So put in the socks instead of wudu, wipe on it for 24 hours, starts from the first wipe, 72 hours, same thing starts from the first time you wipe on it. Could be, way more than 24 hours because you count from the time you start wiping on it. And this is clear, inshallah, on that. Now, the imamah. You know what the imamah is? The turban, right? Are we allowed to wipe on it? People of knowledge, they have different opinion about it. The authentic opinion, we can. And this is the madhab of Imam Ahmad rahimahullah. We can wipe. Why? Because the hadith of Amr ibn Umayyah said, رَأَيْتُ, I saw Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wiping over his imamah and his khuf. رأيت النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم يمسح على عمامته وخفيه. So I saw Rasul صلى الله عليه وسلم wiping over his imamah and his khuf. Done. And this hadith by Imam Bukhari. Done. How long we can wipe on the imamah? Average? What do you think, Zakaria? Same thing. Same as the socks, the khuf, 24 hours and 72 hours. Start from the first time you wipe. So what type of imamah we allowed to wipe on? Like Saad's hat, can we do that? No. Has to be special imamah, which is cover most of the area you wipe your head with, the area for the wudu, most of it. Now, they said there's definitely the few imamah was mentioned. Said satira, covering most of the place because you make wudu like this. Go there from the front to the back like this. You wipe in your head and then go, of course, to your ears. Now, so it has to cover most of the place of the farad where you should wipe. And some scholars said have the one that little imama has little tail in the back, the little tail in the back. So not anyone. And they said if there's mashaqqa, there's difficulty for wiping, for to take it off. Like women to take their khimar off, sometimes it's hard. Well, how she can make wudu? Sometimes there's like open bathrooms or something, public area, or there's no bath in the middle somewhere, so they have only like a bottle. In this case, she can wipe. There's difficulty. Sometimes difficult for you, it's cold. As the Sahaba came to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and one of the battle, I think, Markat That al-Riqa, the Markat, they call it like the patches, because their clothes was full of patches, and they used to wear something called tasakhin, rolling some like fabric over their feet instead of the socks. They have nothing, or they had nothing. So however, it's too difficult for us, cold or something, said you can wipe. But when you wipe, at the same time, you have to do your ears. So imagine imam this way, but you have to do your ears, you have to do it like usual. And Abdullah ibn Umar said he took special water for wiping the ears. Now, because usually when our wudu, what do? We have water, right? And we wipe from front to the back, we go this way, and the same thing, same water, we do our ears, right? We do this way, remember that. So Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, he took special water for that. You could do this or that, Allah knows best. And you can follow the madhab of Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, or you can keep it the same way, both inshallah, that's good. So now, this is the imama and this is the khuf. Now wiping over the cast, right, the jabira. If you have broken leg, broken hand, you have surgery over your in one of the area where the wudu organs and so on. So we have, how could we do that? Definitely, the first thing, if you allowed to take the thing off, you should take it off. Definitely. You don't say, no, I can't. No, if you can't take it off, then you have to do the full wash. Remember that. If you cannot take it out, you have to wash every part the water touch, you are able to touch it. I'm sorry, if you cannot take it off, but whatever, you just don't have to wash that part of, for example, you have this one, you didn't have to wash it. You're not allowed to wash it. Then you wash everything around it. Let's say you have the cast from here to here, from your wrist to here. Then this area was the cast, but you have to wash your hand, you have to wash here, the rest of the part of your hand. And you wipe over the cast, right? So the thing is, we need to make sure that if the water harmful, then we can wipe. If wiping harmful, what should we do? Because that part is not touched with water. Tayammum. We make tayammum for that part. So the thing is, we need to understand. So we have to do everything exactly the way it is, except for that part. So originally, we're supposed to wash it. We cannot wash it, then go down to wiping. If we cannot wipe, then we do tayammum for that part. We do regular wudu and for that part, not tayammum and done. No. Make regular wudu and tayammum for that part. Clear? Regular tayammum. And we know the tayammum. Tayammum has to be something made from something sand, rocks, dust, things like this, something from the nature of the earth. So, and the tayammum, we said like this, you put your hand one time, tap it one time, and you can do, remember, there's three different ways to it. Hands one time, then wipe your face, wiping your face, right? And then your hand. One time, done. And there's another opinion. This is the ayah. The ayah says, first, فَامْسَحُوا بِوُجُوهِكُمْ. The ayah says, wipe your face first, then face first, then your hands. The hadith of Rasulullah when he was mentioned to him, he said he could have done this. Wiped his hand, then he did this. So hands, then first, then face. And there's another narration, you could do one time for the face and another time for the hands. All good. So whatever you decide, and so you know the three different methods of wiping. But the thing is, has to be something from the earth, some like dust, topsoil, things like this, sand. But you cannot just say, or your blanket, or this table, or your bed. A lot of people in the hospital said, "Oh, I did tayammum." I said, "How?" I said, "Well, I did it like this on the wall." Doesn't work. And so simple. Alhamdulillah, we have at the masjid those things for tayammum. They just, when you tap on it, there's come dust out of it. Or you can just have one of your family members bring some little bit in the napkin, in the tissue, some dirt from those plants downstairs. Just a little bit. You don't have to get like the whole, 2 yards there. So this little bit, and you just tap on it. Done deal. It's a very small amount. It's not much. So this is the tayammum. We need to understand it. There's any question about this here? A few things about the. Okay, go ahead.
How would you do the tayammum for, like, let's say you have a cast of water?
You do regular tayammum. Wipe in this way, regular tayammum.
You just wipe it out over the cast, right?
Well, the wipe in this way, but tayammum, we do tayammum, just regular tayammum, full tayammum.
Oh,
Yeah, yes.
Can we do tayammum for ghusl?
Tayammum for ghusl instead of ghusl? Yeah, of course. This is what you can do tayammum instead of the ghusl, as Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu, he was in a battle and was severe cold, and he was a new Muslim. He just knew Muslim, and he was the leader of the army. And what happened was cold, and he woke up with what dream? So he needed to do ghusl. Imagine, the desert's cold. It's colder than Cleveland. SubhanAllah. So he went there, and then, SubhanAllah, he woke up and he made tayammum. So the Sahaba, they all, SubhanAllah, they objected that. So Rasulullah agreed upon what he did. He approved what he had done. So if the water harmful, so let me go elaborate over the tayammum in general. There's when can we do tayammum? If the water is harmful. If you make tayammum, if you use the water, will harm you. Or if there's not enough water. You have water enough to drink. So you have water but enough to drink. If there's no water, third condition, remember that. And the fourth condition, if too dangerous to get the water. 4 conditions, remember, 4 conditions you allowed to make tayammum. Besides this, no. If the water harmful, if it's not enough water, you have enough water to drink. The third thing, if there's no water, and if too dangerous to get the water. For example, if you go to imagine you are in the war, if you get water, they're going to kill you or shoot you or something, they hurt you, then you do tayammum. So there's a few things. Now, if you made tayammum, and let's say for dhuhr, and you kept on going, you looked around, there's no water. You arrived somewhere half an hour later, 2 hours before Asr, and you found water. Of course, you made tayammum, made salah. The question for you, should I remake my salah? No? Well, okay, Sheikh.
Actually, different opinions, so I don't know which one.
Okay, let me say that. Okay, this is the first question. The second question, if you do not, Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the incident happened during the time of Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, one of them, 2 Sahabi, one of them repeated his salah, and the second one did not. Right, this one is Hashmat. So the second one did not repeat his salah. The one who repeated his salah, he said his salah is valid. The second one, he said he did the sunnah. So which one's better? The sunnah. So is the other one's salah is valid? Yes, it is valid. But the second one, the one who did not repeat the salah is fine. Now the question here, the harder question, you were in your car somewhere, and there's no water for the third option, which is the conditions, there's no water. You were somewhere, then you look around, no water, man, there's nothing. Okay, made tayammum, made salah. Then half an hour later, you found that you have a lot of water in the trunk. Your wife packed some, or your brother, your friend packed some water in the trunk. What would you do? What you should do? Well, you just did. You prayed already. If you said the answer, I need to know why though. It's not guessing.
It matters about your niyyah, intention.
Okay. The answer was Abdurrahman said, but the reason why he should repeat his salah, because there is water, but he did not look hard enough. You understand? There's difference. There's no water during the salah. Right there next to you. You didn't look. There's water. So you repeat your salah. Clear? Inshallah. So those are the rules of the tayammum, inshallah.
What if he kept on driving and found water?
If he found water later on, there's no problem. But they didn't have to repeat. But now the water's there. If he didn't have water, he make tayammum. Yeah. طيب. There's something here called al-ghusl, nawaqid, the wudu, which is nullifies wudu. So this something, we all know what is that, but something I want to elaborate more about one part of it. Of course, if you use the bathroom, number one, number two, if you pass gas, if you have wet dream, if something they call whatever, the pre-semen, whatever that little stuff comes from you is not the semen, or urine, called madi in Arabic. If blood comes out of your private area, so this all invalidate your wudu, all of it. So those few things will invalidate your wudu. So they call it, this is will invalidate. If something enter your body, for example, the spatazori, whatever they call it, right? Something from your private area, right? They go for medicine, that does not invalidate your wudu. Also, some other stuff, if you, then, okay, if you sleep, total sleep, done, you're gone. You didn't hear anything around you. Or if you are in coma, if someone get what they call numbed or drunk because some drugs they give to before the surgery, or someone became like insane, all this invalidates wudu. If you touch your private area intentionally, then you have to, this will invalidate the wudu. And of course, for the sisters, their periods, if they have a babies, all this one, she's not still wudu, also when you have intercourse. And one of the other couple things, if someone leaves Islam, the ridda, his wudu invalid, or hers. And also if you eat the camel meat will invalidate your wudu. As the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, شلون صاحبك؟ سعادتك حبيبي.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
Bismillah wa-salatu wa rasulullah. There's a question here online. They said, can we use the plain seat or the plain seat tray for tayammum if in the event no water? If there's no water, the question, if there's a new place, doesn't matter where you're at, whether in the plane or anywhere. If you are anywhere, if there's no water or dirt or sand, what should I do? You pray the way you are, no harm. Because Allah clearly said, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها فاتقوا الله ما استطعتم. Allah have said clearly. So Allah does not do or fear Allah as much as you can. Allah does not give you or command to do something you cannot bear. Done. So do as much as you can. So if you're in a place there's no water, nothing, no problem. Like in Siyam, the sunnah, to break your fast as soon as the adhan. This is the sunnah. And the sunnah to eat palm, date, or dates, or water. So this in order. The balih, rutab. If there's no rutab, then dates. If there's no dates, then water. How about if there's none of that, anything? How about if you're in the middle of the highway, there's nothing? You make intention to break your fast. So it shows here the importance of salah also. When the salah comes, there's no water, no tayammum, okay, make salah. How about if I have blood, I slept, I used the bathroom, doesn't matter. And this is a lot of brothers fall into in the plane, they don't pray. And some brothers, when they are sick in the hospital, they do not pray. Said, well, I have najasa. If you can able to remove the najasa, you're fine. Move on and pray. So if you cannot, you can have to change if there's no one to change you. As you know, you're supposed to face the qibla. There's no way for you to face the qibla in any direction then. You should try and face the qibla. As Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala clearly said, wherever you're at, you must face the qibla. أينما كنتم فولوا وجوهكم شطر المسجد الحرام وحيثما كنتم فولوا وجوهكم شطره. So no matter where you're at, you should face the Masjid al-Haram. But how about if I didn't know the direction? Or someone's sick, cannot do it. So I what making salah, you make salah. If no one gonna move my bed or no one gonna help me out or something, just pray the way you are. So this thing, a few things we need to understand. Now, we mentioned also Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, hadith Jabir ibn Samra. He asked him, radiallahu anhu, said, should I make wudu after I eat the lamb? He said, if you wish, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. He said, what about the camel? He said, yes. Camel meat, you must make wudu after eating the camel meat. This hadith narrated by Imam Muslim, rahimahullah ta'ala. We're going to just elaborate about a couple things here, which is one of them. Should I, when you sleep, you see a lot of brothers at Jum'ah, they're sleeping, before Salah, sleeping. They are at home, they're in the couch, then they get up and make Salah. So what are the rules of that? See special people laying against that wall there. Yes?
Basically, if it's a deep sleep, your wudu's broken, so you gotta go make it up. But if you're able to, you're still conscious and you can hear, you're able to follow, then you still have to do it.
Okay, the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was mentioned during the time the Sahaba. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to come late sometimes for Isha, late. And the Sahaba waiting for him in the masjid. Said, وَكَانْ تَخْفِقْ رُؤُوسَهُم. They go, you know how that happened to you? All of us. So said, تَخْفِقْ رُؤُوسَهُم, the Sahaba. And when Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam comes, and Allah knows best how many times that happened during the waiting. and the time the Rasul comes, he starts the salah and he does not command you to make wudu. Now Imam Ahmad rahimahullah mentioned, he said, there's two conditions for that. One of them, if you have to be sitting, not standing, or standing, not laying or leaning toward the wall. So this is the conditions. So some opinion, like Hashmat said, some opinion said, if you could hear what's going around you, you're sleeping, but the moment you say your name, or if they ask you what happened, you can repeat what happened. You're sleeping, but at the same time, you're listening. Someone asks you, what did you sleep? You say, no, I'm sleeping. What did I say? And he repeats what you said. So he's not sleeping fully. So, but the easier to make it easy, and the thing is, to make it easy, they said if the amount, the position, how you are sitting, this is better. Because some people said because the yawm normal yasir, just a nap or something real quick. How would you know? Some people, they don't know how long they slept for. You feel like sometimes you're so tired, you sleep at, let's say, 10 o'clock, you woke up at 4 or 5. It feels like a second. So you didn't know that little bit of sleep is not enough. So evidence like I just slept for a little bit. No, the position. This is stronger opinion by Imam Ahmad rahimahullah. Said the way you slept, sitting like a Muhammad, like the Sheikh and like the Shabab. This is or standing, and if you can sleeping. I know sometimes we slept standing. It's like yeah. So the thing is, but not leaning against the wall or laying down. The moment if you slept laying down against the wall, remake your wudu. So this is the rules about this, about the sleeping, about the wudu. So any question about this? Because there's no time to go over anything. We have a lot more things to go through, but it's not the ghusl and other stuff.